In this video, I'm gonna go over this short trade we had on Tesla using the AutoTrend system. As you can see, it ended up hitting 5 profit targets. I have here annotated up to 4 because after some point, I stopped tracking it, right? If it ends up, giving a lot of profit and it drops down to like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 plus profit targets, then I just stopped tracking that. So you can see the progression of the trade here. I'm gonna go ahead and delete all of these annotations so we can go over step by step together and see how the trade progressed. So let's zoom in here. So what we had was a short alert from the AutoTrend system here. You can see this is the bar. This is the bar right here that created the trend change. You can see this trend here, right here. That's the ATS telling us that it is detecting a new strong trend to the downside, right? And this is the candle that created that trend change right here. So according to the rules of the strategy, it's always the same, right? It's always the same. We want the low of the signal bar to be overtaken by a next bar, right? That's our signal to go short. If that doesn't happen, then we do not take the trade. Obviously, that did happen. Here, you can see, if I really zoom in, you can see that this bar went below the low of our signal bar. So that is our confirmation to take this signal from the AutoTrend system and go short Tesla, expecting a move to the downside. And that's exactly what happened. So that's our entry there, right? This is our entry here, just as we broke the low, and the stop needs to go just above the last prior swing high. So this one here, you can see that price came down, put in that little swing high, and then gave us our signal. So that's the last swing high before our signal, and that's where we put our initial stop loss. Obviously, the stop loss will change as the trade progresses, and we want to eliminate the stop loss as soon as possible. So eliminate the risk on the trade as soon as possible, and we can do that when we reach our first profit target. The first profit target, which is actually the dynamic profit levels. These lines here are automatically plotted on the chart by the ATS, by the dynamic profit levels indicator. You can see it here. This is the one. I am using a 60 minutes or a 1 hour time frame for the dynamic profit levels because I'm using a 2 minutes chart for my trade, right? So with the dynamic profit levels, we always want to have a higher time frame. We want to get our targets from a higher time frame, allowing us to have, these big wide profit targets. So let's go ahead and mark that. This was our entry, right here. So entry short. And we reach our first profit target here. You can see price came down. It hit our dynamic profit level, the first dynamic profit level, and that is our first profit target. We can change those colors here, make them more visible. There we go. First profit target hit. At that point, we can bring the stop loss down to break even, completely eliminating the risk from that trade. So we always start our trades with our initial stop loss to protect us from the possible event that the trade doesn't work, right? That's always a possibility, and it's just a natural part of trading. We don't stress about that. But when we hit our first profit target, we want to remove the risk from the trade, making it basically a free trade, right? We have captured our first profit target here, so we're selling a third or a quarter of our position, or rather we're covering, since we're short, so we're covering a third or a quarter of our position and then bringing the stop loss to break even. So anything that happens after that point is a bonus, right? We don't care whether it hits our break even stop loss or if it goes down and hits additional profit targets. At that point, we have already gotten paid on this trade, And all that can happen next is it can either give us more profit, or we can keep the profit we have already captured here and no more than that. But at that point, we cannot lose money on that trade, right? So it's a good checkpoint to reach, making this trade stress-free at that point, completely stress-free. So obviously, you know how the trade progressed. We came down, we hit our second profit target right here. There we go. That's our second profit target because price made its way down and it hit another DPL, another dynamic profit level. This dotted line down here. At that point, we can cover our second third or our second quarter of our position. We always break down our position in like halves, thirds, or quarters, right? Because we want to scale out of a winning position, of a winning trade as it's working out in our favor. I do not go all in and all out on a trade. I will go all out if it hits my stop loss or if it hits my break even stop loss after I have already taken profits. But as the trade progresses, I will scale out in parts because I want to maximize that trade as it's working. So I could have taken all of my profits here, right? As it hit my first profit target, I could have done that, but I would have sacrificed so much more profit as the trade was working out really, really nicely. Obviously, at that point, I didn't know that it's gonna go down and hit multiple profit targets. And we never know that, right? There's never any guarantee. And that's why I like to scale out of position as they are working, right? So as you can see, we ended up hitting our third profit target here, right here. There we go. Third. Oh, cannot type today. It's quite early here. Third profit target. So at that point, I didn't actually take this trade. I was not on my computer when this trade unfolded, but usually I like to scale out of my profits, of my trades in thirds. So at that point, most likely I would be all out of this trade. It did end up hitting multiple targets, the fourth and the fifth, and right now we're sitting here. You see how it's bouncing here, here, here. It's bouncing from the profit levels. That's because our dynamic profit levels are actually strong support and resistance. So they have the power to repel price as it hits them. And that's why I use them as profit targets, because I'm expecting when price hits a profit target from above, it will likely bounce. And when it hits it from below, it will likely reject and go lower. And that's what you can see going on here. And that's why I'm using them as profit targets, right? So at that point, if I was in this trade, I would be all out on my third profit target. And what happens after that? Basically, I don't care because I'm not in this trade anymore, but it's still interesting to observe price as it's basically doing what we expect it to be doing, right? We got the short signal from the AutoTrend system. We had a very nice downtrend. It hit multiple profit targets. It rejected from some of them. It bounced. It found support and found resistance. Exactly what we expected to do. And basically, we followed our system. We followed our rules, and that's all we can do. So I hope you've enjoyed this trade breakdown using the AutoTrend system. If you like this video, if you enjoy this trade reviews series, let me know in the comments. You can leave a like, you can subscribe, and I will make more of these because I know it helps a lot of people, a lot of users of the AutoTrend system to see kind of like how I use it in action for my own trading. So yeah, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.